Right, what to do when your rocker cover bolts are absolutely torn to bits. Someone has been into this because there were two studs here. Someone's been into it probably a long time ago because these are all rounded off. There's nothing left of these, nothing left of that, nothing left of this stud. The back one's rounded out and it's got liquid in it, which I've not sprayed on, so it could be coolant, could be oil, could be mixture. This one, if you zoom in on this, come closer, get closer. Right, that is what usually happens at the front, right? So, when they're looking like that, you've got problems. The 8's not going to take it off. You can hammer a 7 on, but I've gone straight to the E-Torx. So if you're not got a set of these, get a set off Amazon. Essentially, it's a backwards Torx head. And I think the one I've got on, I've hammered an E12 on, which is going to take off this one, because this is turning. We have to be gentle, you can't rag at them. There we go. So if you rag at them, you're just going to spin it off. And then we don't really want to get down to the stages of a die grinder, because then you're going to run the risk of damaging the head. You're going to change the rocker cover at that point, not just the gasket, but the rocker cover. This one's probably going to have a new rocker cover unless we can get this screw out for the breathers. Like, it just fell out in my hand as we were taking this pipe off. So someone's been into this a long time ago, and it's held together well until now. But we're just stripping it down to do a timing chain. It's needed a timing chain for a very long time, this one. And it also needs a new intercooler because so I'll dig an intercooler out of my stash. Let's see if we can get this off. Right, that out. So this is a problem if you're doing this on the drive now. You need a vise, or you need something where you can grip it, stick a chisel or something in and get a good whack. So that's what we're going to do now. So get my handy. Let's get this in the vise. Get a good knock. Can't really use that again because there's no head on it. So I'm going to have to find some more. I've not got any stainless steel on shelf and he already asked for some. Now I'm wondering why. But we'll have some spares knocking about. Now, I need a thinner one. There we go. Right. Oops. On to the next one. So, there's a bit of head left on that. You can see where the socket is gripped on. Its teeth. They're only in with 12 Newton meters torque, but they've been in a long time. So, you're going to find that they'll come out with minimum force, but you've got to get them turning first. Right, here we go again. So the problem is with this is it's never going to get on that stud because it's not a deep socket one. Is it going to fit on these? Let's find out. I don't think there's enough head left on these. Never know. Yeah, buddy. So rubbers are not bad. I think this rocker cover's been off at some point. Someone's changed rubbers, but it's a good few years ago. Let's just see if we can get this off. Big up to the US Pro, man. Everything on van, 10 quid. Oh. Oh. 1, 2, 3. They're already out. 3 to go. Let's see if this works. Might get a look at you. Oh yeah. Look at that, not even had to have a 7 on, or a 6, because they do go down to a 6. I've had a 5.5 on them before. And then you're getting down to die grinder stage. Last one, stud one. This one is rounded off, my E-torques are not deep sockets, so managed to get a 7 on it with hammer. Let's see if it turns off or it rounds off. Come on. It's rounded. And that, success. Yeah, buddy. So, I've got a look here because I've managed to get a 7 on it. Chances are you're going to go through the following stages. You're going to go down to a 6. 6 is probably not going to work, so there's nothing left of it. Then you're going to think, oh, I'll get some grips on it, or you might have already done the grips, and then that don't work. So what you end up doing is, in desperation, die grinding it. And you just, this is quite good because sometimes you don't have to die grind it like crazy before it spins out. It will grip it, grip the top of it, and potentially just spin it out for you. If not, you're going to chew through that rocker cover completely, and you'll need to replace the rocker cover. Do not damage the head. This is risky business when you get into this stage, so you need to be careful what you're using. Use this or a little Dremel. The Dremel most likely will cut through that. This might spin it out, and it'll just spin it out for me in pass because it's got good teeth on, good tungsten bit. And that is my get out of jail process. So yeah. So this one right at the back here, I mentioned earlier in this video, is absolutely toast. So let's see if we can get this E-torques head on. If we can, we're going to go through the usual process, which I'll be honest, the bolts down the back of here are usually pretty good. These are not really corroded ones. However, someone has been here before me, has the bracket for the intercooler had snapped out, and I think that someone's been here not that long ago. The little donut O-rings that sit in the bottom of these have been changed in the past, because usually when you pull them out they're all split. So let's see if we can get this out. No. There. So E-torques not working. That's an E10. Down to a 6. Don't know if you can see this. Try and put that there. Should have got a better torch, shouldn't go. You never know. Do it. Yeah. Whoa. There we go. So all you need is a crap set of 1/4 inches and some E-torques. So this video originally started off as how to get the rocker cover bolts out, but I'm currently doing a timing chain, and I know someone's been here before. I should have spotted this a bit earlier, I think maybe. So you see the plug, the head plug, it's already been torn out. So I'm gonna have some fun getting that out. I'll show you how to get them off. They're not too, well they are, it depends on how awkward they wanna be. We'll try and get them off anyway by turning them. If not, the hammer and chisel will come out, and they do knock round after some partial aggression. But again, we don't want to damage the head because we're not doing a head gasket, we're just doing a chain. So we'll nip down back engine so we can see that there is a lot of oil coming out, or a hell of a lot coming from this rocker cover gasket. but we don't know how much more oil's coming out of where until this is done. So I always work from the top down. Most likely we've got oil filter housing and oil cooler gaskets. What we'll need doing. The oil pressure sensor switch looks a bit brown, I'll be honest. And then if we look at the inner tie rods, the gator has been squashed. It's covered in oil, and I know the inner and outer needs doing on the offside of this car, because it is, well, it's not the best, I'll be honest. On top of that, this car also needs front and rear struts, because the struts are absolutely worn out beyond belief. There is a creaking noise on the near side front when you set off. Well, yeah, welcome to 20-year-old cars. We'll have to give all this a bit of a clean down. We'll give it a flush. We're going to take the sump off and see what's in the sump as well. I'll show you that. I've already drained the oil for that. That's why we've got the front bumper off, because we'll take the aircon pump off. And then that'll give me access to all the 10 mils what's underneath this, and it should eventually drop off. We've got a new sump gasket coming. But yeah, messy job this one. Right, so earlier I said somebody's been into this before. I know someone's tried to do a chain on this before, because the telltale signs were this head plug was already stripped out. Now my RPT sockets from Mac will not touch that. He took the other one out, but these are supposed to be Loctited in. That's the notch I've made with my hammer and chisel to get this one turning. We're going to have to replace, unfortunately, this head plug. You can't use that again. And the great news keeps on coming. The crank pulley. So people always struggle with these, and they always split because the many two bits are split. You see them in groups where, oh, I've had a nightmare, and somebody's tried chopping it off. You need to buy the correct tool, because if not, whoever was here before me has had this problem. As you can see, somebody's tried prying it off with a bar. Unless this is a second-hand one, but who knows. And then bad news keeps on coming. So I noticed this the last time we had this in the car, and it was just making a little rattle, and I think that is simply because there's that much oil coming out of that oil pump housing. The seal's completely gone. It's just got in there and one piston away, so that's going to have to be changed. But yeah, 20-year-old cars, someone's always been into them before. Luckily, these are soft metal, so you can stick a hammer and chisel through it quite easy and get it to turn. I know I've already had this turning a little bit. So we've got that, what, 90 degrees of that. Get another notch in. So what's turning out? Ah, my knees. There we go. So, finally out. Where's that gone? How's it into there? So, you might think, why are you not using the tool for this one to mount the engine? I never use it, and I always will say support the engine with floor jack and a bit of cushioning, because you don't want to replace the sump. Because throughout this job, it's much easier to lower the engine, bring it up, lower it again, and put an auxiliary belt on, auxiliary tension, sorry, taking these caps out, and just being able to move it. So what I'll do now is all that's off, I'll put this engine mount back on, just temporary, hang it on there, and then we're going to get the oil pump off. But yeah, there's always a way around it, you just got to be resourceful. This is Bush Tucker Mechanics. Now to look at that. No wonder it's leaking everywhere. No wonder it's like always low on oil. But God knows what's in the Sump. I mean, the guides. What a mess. So yeah. Now we'll spend half hour cleaning all this up. Suddenly, with a Sump gasket, 4.5 hour job. It's not a 4.5 hour job anymore because of the clean-up job to get the parts in a position where we can put new gaskets on it where it's not going to leak. But 20-year-old cars, it's obviously a second timing chain. I don't know if that's RTV or somewhere it is the old gasket where they've just trapped in there anyway. I can't tell because it's like inside of there, which I think might be RTV.
That's RTV, I can tell.
Yeah.
See there, the stringing.
So
that piece.
All this and he spend, I don't know, it's 20 minutes labour, if not a bit more, cleaning that up so we can put a brand new seal on and get it to a point where it's not going to leak in future. And see what we can do with this timing chain, because we've got a new one, so we'll have to fit it. And then I wonder what's in the Sump. Yeah. See, this turns a 4.5 hour job into potentially, well, it's already going to be a 6 hour job because we've had to knock a load of stuff off, go find replacements because we're trying to keep the budget down on this car, but it's getting worse and worse. I mean, we're an auxiliary belt tensioner in. We've got to clean that off. 6 dead rocker cover bolts, head plug. There's oil everywhere. But luckily for this customer, he paid £250 for this car, which you can live with because it was £250, so you can go and spend £2 fixing it. I think with how many fixes he's done so far, it's probably with this chain, he'll be over the £2 job because he's done a lot. I think this is his 4th visit of getting this rectified, and I think there's still the offside inner and outer track rod end, rear pads, oil cooler gasket, maybe the oil filter housing gasket, and I'm hoping the Sump is the leak on this and it's not the rear main seal on the clutch, because it's not worth doing a clutch. It's had an alternator. But yeah, look at the history and the previous owners of each car. You need to know who's owned your car, because if they're fixing stuff on the driveway, then you're going to get stuff like this. But this could have been a garage. This could have been a garage what's not decided not to buy the right seal kit, because I don't think this seal's ever been changed. It's not been changed because it's rock hard. That is rock hard. It should be nice and soft. So I think what they did was RTV this on, because it probably was a persistent oil leak after they did a chain, just to cover it up. But it'll last so long. Yeah. But onwards and upwards. Tell you what, you don't see my arm show looking like that, do you? I like to think today I've earned my money. I mean, there's a... If you're wondering why there's like 500 ml of oil, we've already drained it. Like it's a bit metallic, I think you'll see it on a magnet. There's lots of bits of metal in the bottom of this. What? See it? All upside of there. Oh, upside it. See all that? I haven't took oil filter out yet, so I don't know what that's going to be like. They're alright, they're really warm though, like really pitted. Chunks away, but they're not smashed to bits. So there shouldn't be any plastic in some. Wasn't I expecting metal? Not to that level. I've seen little bits of flakes, but there's a lot in there. I think we have to pull oil filter, see what's in that. So, dead. Let's get torch a bit, so what? It's so burnt. See how metallic that is. RTV. It's so burnt. I don't think this engine's got 80k on it. I think it's got 180 on. This engine's been swapped here. It's so rough. Yeah, that CD boot. I don't know if somebody's done that, but I know for a fact we haven't. However, that needs changing. It's spraying it everywhere. Look at the stair there. I think most of this is from Sump. His rear main seal's 100% leaking, cause doom doom doom. Crushing. That builds up over time. You can get away with it. It's like, I think you get 15,000-20,000 miles if you're lucky. But eventually clutch will start slipping. I mean, dual mass flywheel, if I were doing a clutch I'd be changing that at the same time in this car. It doesn't matter, look at it. Just that's a pile of granules that. Oh no, there's loads of metal in there. You see how I'm pulling it? I don't know if camera, because it's a phone, it's catching this. Let's try that. You know when you tell someone to do the timing chain 4 months ago, and you've got catastrophic oil leaks, and it is getting to a point where every time I see your car, it's low on oil. This is the result. And it's not, obviously, like, these are old cars now, so you're reliant on funds, but there is so much metal in the bottom of this. Just try to get something to wipe my hands.
Oh, I can see it.
Is it? Oh yeah, you can even see it without light. What's this look like? This is all sparkling. There is bits of metal all the way through the filter. Look, you see it on the end of my finger there? I don't know if you can. Just like there. See that? I think we'll have to have a phone call.